Hello, guys. Welcome to my channel. Today, I want to talk about what Filipinas think about friends with benefits. This is for those expats who aren't interested in a long term relationship just yet in the Philippines. Believe it or not, if you pursue such a relationship here, know that the expectation of the Filipina and her family may potentially consider your relationship as serious, even if you made it clear in the beginning that you have no intention of a long term relationship. But don't be disheartened. That might not be the case for every encounter with a Filipina. Stay tuned. In many Western countries, the idea of a friends with benefits relationship in which two people engage in casual sexual intimacy without committing to a romantic relationship has grown in popularity. However, the dynamics change radically when applied to a new cultural environment, such as the Philippines, particularly concerning Western expats and Filipinas. Due to over 3 centuries of Spanish occupation, the majority of people in the Philippines are romantic Catholic. Filipino standards regarding marriage, sex, and family are influenced by this religious context. Although it is more common now than it was decades ago, premarital sex is still generally frowned upon in many areas, particularly in traditional or rural communities. The strong belief that sexual activity should only occur within significant romantic relationships or marriages continues to be held by many Filipinas. To many, family approval, honor, and reputation remain very important. In Filipino society, the concept of hiya, shame, and upholding a positive public image are important. As a result, any relationship that doesn't fit the perceived standards, such as casual sex or friends with benefit, would not be publicly acceptable. This does not imply that such arrangements does not exist. Rather, they are shrouded in secret and can have social or emotional repercussions. Filipinas are traditionally raised to value loyalty, modesty, and long term relationships. Filipinas who are seen as promiscuous may be judged by their families as well as by people in their local communities. This does not mean that all Filipinas are opposed to sexual agency, however. While they often do so within the context of practical or emotional stability, modern Filipino women, especially those residing in urban areas, may be more willing to explore their sexuality. Due to this cultural divide, some Filipinas may participate in casual or friends with benefit style relationships, but they do so discreetly and often with different expectations than their Western counterparts. You can find Filipinas with more liberal attitudes on relationships, dating, and sex in big cities like Manila, Cebu, and Davao. Many young Filipino women's perspectives have been broadened by their exposure to Western media, pop culture, and social media. Digital freelancers, working professionals, and college students may be more receptive to friends with benefit style relationships, especially if they are self assured and financially independent. The situation is somewhat different in small towns or rural areas, though. There, religious teachings, community reputation, and family values continue to rule. Filipinas who participate in casual sex in these areas frequently do so in secret, and it is uncommon, or at least rarely acknowledged. New relationship conventions have been brought about by apps like Tinder and Bumble, as well as Filipino specific websites like Filipino Cupid, Christian Filipina, and Pina Love. While some Filipinas utilize these platforms for real connections, others do so for transactional reasons, such as sugar dating or for seeking financial support. Similar to friends with benefit dynamics, some may desire enjoyment or sexual stimulation. Even in these situations, though, sex is typically not free. Either financial gain or emotional commitment are anticipated. The emergence of soft prostitution, intimacy traded for presence, attention, or better lifestyles without the women formally identifying as a sex worker, has also been facilitated by social media, particularly when foreign men are involved. This makes it difficult to distinguish between friends with benefit and transactional relationships. Stability and security are important to many Filipinas, particularly those from low income families. These women frequently judge a relationship, whether sexual or not, on its capacity to offer them financial and or emotional security. Unless they are highly individualistic or independently affluent, they might not be interested in a friends with benefit arrangement that provides neither. Understand that not all Filipinas who interact with Westerners are sex workers or gold diggers. However, many see expats as prospective providers because of economic disparities. The perception that expats have more money, sometimes regardless of the truth, means that a casual relationship may automatically be seen as transactional from the Filipina's perspective. A Filipina may agree to sex without making an emotional commitment, but she may still expect assistance with rent, phone bills, or gifts. She sees this as reciprocity rather than prostitution, particularly if she knows the expat is using her body for pleasure. In a place like the Philippines, casual rarely means without expectation. This is something that many expats mistake for actual friends with benefits. For many expat men who experience heartbreak, divorce, or discontent with Western dating customs, relocation to the Philippines was the next best thing. They frequently want adventure, intimacy, or fun with no strings attached. A friends with benefit relationship gives them the best of both worlds, company and sex without the emotional weight. In the Philippines, age gap relationships are more widespread and tolerated due to cultural dynamics, particularly if the male is an expat. Many Filipinas are willing to date men 10 to 30 years older than them. Older expats who feel rejected or repulsed by women in the West find the Philippines and their women alluring. A major risk in friends with benefit setups is misunderstanding what the relationship really is. The expat might think it's purely sexual and casual, but the Filipino might hope for a longer term relationship or financial security. Drama, manipulation, or emotional breakdowns may result from this misunderstanding. She may say she's okay with just sex, but culturally, many Filipinas are taught to expect more eventually. She may experience envy, resentment, or even public exposure, such as social media shaming if she falls in love and the expat doesn't reciprocate. Abuse, trafficking, and interactions between minors are all strictly regulated in the Philippines. A Filipino may accuse an expat of coercion, exploitation, or other legal infractions if she feels criticized by the public. Even if untrue, these charges have the power to imprison expats or damage their reputations. Furthermore, while 16 is the legal age of consent, expats may still be subject to moral criticism or increased scrutiny, particularly if there is a significant age difference or indications of power imbalance. Some Filipinos are skilled at taking advantage of circumstances, particularly those who have dealt with expats before. For those expats who are married and failed friends with benefit arrangements, emotional blackmail is common. The Filipino may say, "I thought you loved me," or "I'll tell your wife," or "I'm pregnant." The expat may find himself ensnared in emotional commitments or public humiliation because he believed he was entering into a mutually beneficial agreement. In the Philippines, a rejected lover can quickly harm your reputation. Many communities are small and gossipy. Within minutes or hours, your affairs spread like wildfire to everyone in the community. A Filipina may contact your friends, post something online, or even cause trouble in the neighborhood. Additionally, you run the risk of being physically confronted by her envious ex boyfriend or family. In rare but real cases, love or sexual conflicts have resulted in extortion, blackmail, or physical harm to expats. Transparency is one of the best defenses. When you are in a friends with benefit situation with a Filipina, you need to move like you are in a friends with benefit with her. Don't do things husbands would do. Otherwise, she would assume you have decided to take it to the next level. Express your desire for a casual connection politely, gently, and without making any promises of a longer commitment. Express your disinterest in a committed or financially reliant relationship. This establishes a solid tone, but it won't stop all misunderstandings. Pay attention to her objectives. Is she looking for financial assistance, a visa, or marriage? If so, you are negotiating long term expectations rather than being in a friends with benefits arrangement. My suggestion? Stick with Filipinas who are financially secure enough to not view sex as a means of survival and mature enough to comprehend the arrangement. Keep in mind that it is no longer a legitimate friends with benefit relationship once a large amount of money is involved, especially on a regular basis. You are now either a pseudo partner, a sponsor, or a sugar daddy. Be prepared for the Filipina to feel entitled to more than simply sporadic intimacy if you are paying her bills, giving her gifts, or giving her money. Be wary of sharing certain pictures, videos, or conversations that could be used against you. So always be on your guard with what's being done when you are with her. Protect both your online and personal presence. In the event that things don't work out, assume that anything you say or do could be made public. Here are some indicators that you and your Filipino are not on the same page with the friends with benefit arrangement. She will begin to routinely request presents, loans, or cash. She will become possessive or jealous if she sees you with other women. She will out of nowhere start introducing you to her family, expecting support. She will pressure you to commitment, marriage, or a visa. She will start using emotional manipulation tactics. She will begin posting pictures of you online without your consent, indicating to others that this is serious. These are red flags that a relationship has evolved beyond casual, and you should reassess your involvement. If you still want to pursue this sort of relationship, there are things you can do to lessen the chances of this ending badly. If both of you are clear it's transactional, it can work, but don't pretend it's something else, or at least let the Filipino sign an NDA. They are enforceable in the Philippines. If she hesitates, reiterate that this is something that will protect both you and her. Another option, of course, is bar girls or sex workers. Most of the time, they know what's up, and at least expectations are clear. The risk with them can be the same, especially if they like you a lot. Then there's the baggage of STDs they could potentially transmit to you if you're not careful. There are also those Filipinas who already have families and just want companionship, not a full on relationship with anyone. Traditional Filipino cultural values, which place a strong emphasis on committed, monogamous relationships, often inside marriage, are often not fully aligned with friends with benefits relationships with Filipinas. Even if transactional and casual relationships do happen, particularly among certain young people and in situations where money is a factor, they are nonetheless surrounded by social and cultural complications. Although Filipinas occasionally enter into transactional relationships in which partner selection is influenced by financial security, many nevertheless place a high value on emotional bonds and conventional relationship standards. Whether or not a friends with benefit relationship is okay ultimately relies a lot on the people involved, their personal values, and how well they handle the complex social and cultural environment of the Philippines. All right, guys, that is all for today's show. If you have any questions or comments, please comment down below. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a good day.